Hey everybody, Avid Human here. So, first of all, day 300, look, I'll get this out of the way real quick. Day 300, no major workout. Eating could have did better. Bottom line, if you've been here for a while, you know that I am very bad at making a point. All right, very bad. I'm gonna try real hard though. I have lost complete control of my life. All right, it's like I'm Skyrim. All right, it's like I'm playing Skyrim and my inventory is literally absolutely full of inhibition. All right, I'm almost back up to 190 pounds. I mean, it's more like 187, but that's just not, a little fluctuation. It doesn't matter. It's supposed to be going down. All I have to do is not eat, and that's not happening. And why is that not happening? It ties into everything that's happening right now. I've lost complete control of myself. All right, my inhibition, right, has just completely destroyed my ambition. All right, so little story time here. All right, as you all know, if you've been following this through the bits and pieces, 2022, I would say, uh, I reached a point, coming up for my whole life of like not doing jack, right? Like just being overweight, trying to lose weight, giving up. And I was like, no, I'm mad. I'm actually tired of this shit. And long story short, I did it. I lost like 100 pounds, which I know that's not a lot for some of y'all's stories. With some of the stories out here, we're losing tons of weight. But look, man, that was an accomplishment for me. And the thing is, stuff started going up, right? I got a lady friend. That was terrible. But look, I'm laying the information down, right? I got a lady friend. Good. Why am I say like that, bro? Anyway, you know what I mean. I lost a bunch of weight, and I was doing everything right, bro. Now, like, was this up here still a broken jalopy of a car, of a machine? Yes, but I was getting progress. I was coding, learning to code. I was drawing. I was trying to make music. I was literally, I was, let's say I was operating at like, 95 peak efficiency again for someone else. That was maybe like 50%. But I was living the indie life, sort of. Again, maybe I'm putting a bit on a high horse. Sorry, grass is always greener. But I've come to realize the last couple of weeks, I'm like, what has happened to me? It started with little things, right? It's like I'm always watching YouTube. I'm missing deadlines and all this stuff and passing by all these things I could do that it's like I feel like I was doing them before. I was getting up, I was fixing things, getting things done, making things, whatever have you. But now it's just like, YouTube, YouTube, right? And I recognize that from a few key differences. I mean, like I said that, but the other one, waking up, scrolling for a little bit. I did that 3, 4, well, shit, like 5, plus years ago. I did that, and again, I felt horrible, and I stopped doing it in that like window, in that like 2-ish year window. I stopped doing that. I was able to sleep for the most part. Now, what am I doing? When I first lay down, scroll, or whatever. I'm staying up late. That's the big. I know in my brain because I know the knowledge that I unlocked from then, which is like, if it's past 12, it can wait. That's the cutoff. It's to wait till tomorrow. All right, and I know that's a blessing. What is it? That's a privilege that not a lot of people have. I know a lot of people have to work through the night, right? Right. So far, I have that privilege that generally I can physically have a 12 p.m. or 12 a.m. cutoff. But I stay up, and it's like, why am I doing that? It's like I've lost my self reflection, dude. I mean, obviously that not enough to not beating myself up over it. And it's like, when did this happen? When did this happen? All right, sure, I had my whole life of debauchery, and then like just a small amount of time where I was trying to fix my shit, get my life together. But then when did I slip back in? And it's like, well, I had someone stay with me for a month, a little while ago. Was that it? No, not really. I mean, was I productive then? No, but it happened before then, and I thought about it. literal shower thoughts right now. All right. I was like, when did this happen? And I was like, oh yeah, it was the beginning, ironically, of this journey of me doing the daily videos. Why? Okay, I'm not going to use profanity, but because I got my heart broken. She destroyed my heart, and I know it's melodramatic, blah blah blah, but there's a point to this. Before then, like I said, I was on the up and up, at least for me, right? Again, like I said, I was getting stuff done. I was doing what I wanted to do, and that's a really hard thing to do now. And it was like that happened to me, and I was destroyed. I don't know for how long, like a month, probably. Well, okay, like 2, 3 weeks, maybe yeah, close to a month. I was just, I would, oh, more than that. What am I saying? No, I was more like, okay, like I would say like maybe the first 2 to 3 weeks, I was genuinely like in just a pit of despair. Like I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat, I couldn't do anything. I was still forced to do, the things that a working class person, middle class person has to do. But I just had to do it in complete despair. I was like, man, I want to fucking die. And the reason why is because it was like I had to sit in my own ragu, all right? Like to give a little insight on it, if y'all know this. It just felt like I had no prospects. There was no hope, right? It was like I blew my one chance. Right. My one chance for what? It's like my one chance for love. Oh, no one will love me. It wasn't even that simple. It was just like it was in my brain. It felt like everything I had been amassing to, from the journey of me losing weight, getting all this stuff. It was like, this is all my life is, right? Me doing all those good things. That was a good thing to think about then. But then, and it was just like, what is my life? Like I have nothing to look forward to. And to be fair, I didn't start gaining weight then, so at least I kept that. Well, obviously I wasn't eating, but I kept that up. A little while later into that, I again started this journey, the journey of avid human and all that stuff. And that's the thing, right? Besides for working out, which even that didn't last too long because I got sick a few months in, and then I never recovered to like working out as intense as I did before, which is, that's why like there ain't much to speak of, bro. Trying to not segue here. Basically, I never got back to that point that I was before that when I was living on Easy Street. Not Easy Street. It wasn't. It was Passion Street, bro. I never got back to that point, and it's like it's just compounded and gotten worse, right? And I've recessed back to who I used to be. Not as much because who I used to be, like go back like 8 years ago, who I was back then was like, someone who couldn't even go into a gas station to use the restroom because I was like, it's they're gonna think I'm stealing, or it's gonna be too like embarrassing to not go in there and buy something. That's the where I was at. All right, I was at that point, which I think a lot of people either realize or don't realize, of the irrational fear, or rather the non-existent fear when you're right. Does anyone tell me? Does anyone else feel this, or had felt this? Again, I don't really feel this anymore. The best thing is just to stop thinking about it at a certain point and just do it. Which I knew that for a while, but it took me a while to put it into genuine practice. But just like a fear where it's just like you're just irrationally scared of something. People call like phobias, like, oh, you're scared of spiders. But even that's not you might have, there might be a different term for this. We might have to classify a term for this, because like a phobia, like a phobia of spiders, is what are you afraid of? Well, you're afraid of probably like getting bit by them, right? But the fear I had, like going into the gas station or doing any sort of social thing, there wasn't like I am scared of blank, right? It was just am scared, right? And I got to a point where it's like, okay, well, don't just be afraid. Think about what can actually go wrong, and then realize not that many things go wrong, or the things that can go wrong you don't actually care about, Someone you don't know doesn't like you. Oh, ugh. But again, to wrap this all up, this is another I was gonna say call out post. This is another reach out post, all right? Because again, this is kind of my vlog little thing, just my personal thought, not my personal thoughts, my public thoughts. This ain't my personal channel. I mean, this is my personal channel, but this is my personal thoughts, bro. I'm sending this stuff out, and this is my call out, all right? Because I don't remember how I got here, all right? I just back then I started a race and decided to keep running until I reached the end, and somewhere along I tripped and fell in a gutter, and now I'm like in the I'm in the sewer level right now, all right, of the Ninja Turtles game or whatever the video game, all right. And my call out is like, how do you do what you want to do? In fact, I just realized I think I made a video about this earlier, but this is a bit more or less condensed. How do I get how do I remove my inhibitions? How do you do it rather? Right? I mean, I just had that I trial and error, right? How do you do what you want to do? Be like, no, I'm doing this, you know, like that it's being done and not procrastinate, right? How do you remove procrastination? I know that's the $1 million question, literally, but I did it before, so certainly I can do it again. I just have to remember what it was that I did, right? Anyway, I don't want this to go too long. I'm just going to keep saying the same stuff over and over again. That's basically it, all right? Food for thought. Now, pay up, please. Pay the bill with some insightful information. Thanks.